Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Fantastic Four issue 19. And this was an interesting conclusion to the story arc that we've been following, because we in the beginning and the end get a setup for the next kind of story arc going forward. We also got the conclusion of what was going on in Planet Spire. So in the beginning, we see there's a standoff between like Roxxon and this Indian reservation, and about like them pretty much doing oil and everything like that. And there's like some tensions about who should have decided to allow Roxxon to do this, and if Roxxon's going to like keep their word and all that. And we get Wingfoot popping up, who's a friend of the Fantastic Four, to try and mediate the situation. But we have a scientist on board who's like, "There's shit going wrong," and then of course shit goes wrong, and this thing opens up. We see eyes looking out, and they kind of grab the dude as he's trying to use a Fantastic Four communicator to call the FF to him. We then switch over back to the Fantastic Four on Spire, and they're pretty much being blamed for wrecking the world. And granted, I understand I'm an outsider looking into this situation, but I don't see how you can accurately claim that the Fantastic Four were the ones that pretty much broke your world. Your dude thought that a preemptive strike against people, pretty much trying to kill them, would have worked and kept his society all perfect and hunky dory. Well, it didn't work. It gave him superpowers, and he's like, "Hey, to fight them, how about I do the same thing to my people and make anybody who's a monster pretty much still have a kind of stratified social order where they're down underneath." And the thing is, they could have done a whole lot of stuff. They didn't need to make those people feel like monsters or lower class or anything like that. They could have just been like, "Hey, we're going to do these things to try and have people enhance and have superpowers, and then use everybody in like fighting scenarios to try and make sure that they're able to fight these kind of situations." No, no, they did not do that. They didn't do it. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna call bullshit there. So we see that they're trying to get themselves reoriented and everything. Sue's pretty much protecting her family and all that. And then, of course, the Overseer's like, "Reed, fight me," pretty much. And this was a pretty good fight because Reed's giving it to him first. He's like calling out. We see him unloading all of these years because he thought it was him that did this to his family and everything. And then, of course, we see after Reed pretty much giving him a 1-2, the Overseer's trying to hit him back, being like, "Well, you came here. I had thousands of people to think of and everything." I'm like, yeah, having a new element and having your world opened up is a big kind of deal. But then you went and you decided for everybody. Everybody. You took all of that choice away and decided that you were the grand one in order to make the decision to destroy these people and then change your people's structure, their very essence with cosmic power that you didn't even have a full understanding of. It's like, yeah, I mean, I understand that they're trying to show both sides here, but it's kind of like Civil War II and Civil War One. You, he doesn't really have a solid kind of platform to stand on. But they pretty much get to a point where Reed and him kind of come to an understanding and like, yeah, you have a problem dealing with that stuff. We explore worlds, you build worlds and stuff like that. So what if we work together? So they pretty much are able to kind of mess around with figuring out the stuff with that and using the cure that Ben has to turn him human for a day to try and help reverse some of the stuff that is going on with them. Crumson, of course, kind of calls the thing out for that and like, "Hey, you said that we should be okay with ourselves as monsters." I'm like, well, he was the only rock dude on Earth, and if he just wanted to bang other rocks all day, sure, but if he didn't want to go nutso with a case of blue boulder balls, he's gonna friggin' need that shit to do shit. So yes, I understand his like irksomeness with the thing, but I mean like the thing's got a valid side too. Yeah, you know what I mean. There's not that many other rock people walking around that he can bang, and have a relationship with. And of course, while this is going on, Sky of course has gone out, and Johnny's trying to figure out what to go with that. But they're pretty much figuring what to do, helping with the destruction of the tower and all that, and going to the Hall of Heroes and fixing everything, and pretty much trying to get people to get back to some kind of normalcy. And even some of the Unparalleled was like, hey, can we do this as well? The sidearm guy, we find out he, of course, is Sky's father. We find out that the duo pair, after the sons, one of them is the daughter of Crimson and all that. They have a nice kind of reunion. Elementa's like, yeah, screw this kind of stuff. They're the monsters. Screw them. It's like, okay, you're not really going to have a cure for that. And, of course, we see that a funny moment is that Ben and Sue are like, hey, it would be really inconvenient if the kids made a teleportation device to get us out of here, and then cuts to them pretty much in there having a food fight. And I'm like, yeah, you can't punish kids for doing something and then expect them to do it when it's convenient for you. You know? Granted, I would have been like, it was not right for you to take someone's stuff without their permission and do this kind of thing. That's the thing that's wrong. Alright? Otherwise, you could have just went and built off a teleportation thing, and then we could have had that. And that would have been interesting. But then they're getting everything kind of put together. Johnny, of course, is helping Reed rebuild the rocket for them to be able to leave, and him ruminating on the differences between the isolationism that was pretty much on Spire versus him wanting to explore the universe and what kind of life he's had, and what kind of life he could have had. Then we get to them pretty much trying to get off of Spire. Of course, having their moments with, like, Overseer and all that. And, of course, we get Sky coming in, and Ben's like, hey, yeah, you know how I gave you that advice before? Don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. And we see that Reed and Sue have been able to take off their soul bondings, but Sky does not want to take off hers and wants to go with them to Earth. It's like, okay, what's your kind of goal here? Because she seemed like she was kind of warming up to Johnny, but she's really kind of cold now. And, of course, she says goodbye to her father, Sidearm. Like, hey, I didn't know that was your dad. And she's like, there's a lot you don't know about me, Johnny Storm. I'm like, yeah, there isn't. You haven't volunteered much, and he hasn't had a lot of options to really ask you this shit. Because they've pretty much been almost in a constant state of battle since they've landed on the planet. And I think it would be kind of awkward to be like, so, since we're soul bonded, while he's like blasting fire everywhere, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? Where did you go to high school? It's like, yeah, there hasn't been a really conducive time for him to be able to get to know you. Right? So they're blasting off, and they're pretty much just figuring out what to do. And like Sky makes the comment, oh, it was so easy for you. You weren't even trying to break this world. What if I wonder how easy it'd be to break yours. And, of course, she's like, oh, you guys can't take a joke. I'm wondering if she does have kind of the machinations to do that. But the thing is, Earth is pretty much almost being broken every Tuesday. And I'm like, you could almost set your watch by it. I'm like, you're gonna need more than just you. And you're gonna need some kind of plan. And even if that works, you're gonna have to watch out for some stuff. Because, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see if that was a joke and if she does have plans for, like, trying to destroy Earth. So we'll have to see how she kind of fits there. We then end the issue with Wingfoot meeting with the elders. They evidently got a shiny diamond with Mole Man being like, return my people! And they're like, what do we do with this? Why don't we sell the diamond? It's probably just a diamond, but it's like a communication thing. So it's probably worth more than a diamond. I'm like, that person knows what they're talking about. And then they're like, hey, what about you guys? We could try and get in contact with the Fantastic Four, see what's going on, because they weren't able to respond before. And it's like Mole people are like, sure, yeah, do that. And they're like dressed up, probably wanting to be on the surface, even though Mole Man wants his people with him. So it'll be interesting to see the Mole Man is like brought back into whatever's going on in the next issue. So I'm like, yeah, that's cool. So I enjoyed this. It was an interesting kind of conclusion. We'll have to see how the kind of Fallout kind of goes with it and where we kind of go from here. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.